Yeah. Every morning seems just the same old routine. Blowing trees, writing these bars, line after line, mining for a diamond, but a dime is what I find. Hiding from the truth by simply coasting through these hard times with green, even though I'm feeling blue. But I gotta face the facts, girl, you know that it's true. And maybe what I'm supposed to do is not to get so close to you. But these days the only things that seem great are fading away. And the only time I feel home is when I'm alone or far away. But the road call says the wind blows. 10 missed calls on my flip phone, so it stays closed. Staring out my window while my mind slowly goes off into my headphones. Hoping that the dough will be worth it for the show, but who knows?
Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up. We laugh like kids all day, and there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change. No, we're never gonna change.
All right.
And day after day, it's just the same old thing. Working class life, and yes, it surely will bring a food to the table and a roof when it rains.
All right, everybody.
We're up and running?
Yep.
All right.
Yes, we are. We are back in the saddle again. It's the 29th of March, 2020. March is gone, and wow, April's right around the corner. I really don't know if there's going to be a big influx of April Fool's jokes, because that would just be poor taste. You think?
I don't know. I mean, you got to have a sense of humor, don't you?
Yeah, you do, but then again, you really don't want to have any undue stress.
This is true.
So there I was today practicing my social distancing. Lately, of course, all the toilet paper's gone.
Of course.
Someone's got all the damn toilet paper. I don't know who that is. But I went and picked up a gun today.
Really?
I did. I went and bought it. I bought it online. And because I was looking for it, and all of the stores around where I live were out. And I found one store that had one left. So I'm like, well, I know that I want this gun. So that's so I just bought it online, paid for it online, went and picked it up today. Actually, I went to go pick it up yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And there was I don't know if this is a nationwide thing, but locally here, Academy Sports and Outdoors was not open. Yesterday, they received, since they submitted a plan to keep people, they were only allowed to have 25 people in the store at one time.
Wow.
So they had to demonstrate, I guess, that they could do that, and they had all the essential, like, hand wipes and they had a plan, and they had to demonstrate that they had a plan. So the police said, okay, yes, you can open. So there's a line outside. There's actually two lines outside, and it was being managed. There was security there, and there was employees. It was really well organized, and it just sucks because you got hundreds of people outside waiting to get in, and you can only have 25 people in the store. So these people are talking. They got their radios, and they're really doing a good level of coordination.
Good.
In the store. So here I am last night. This is last night. I'm standing in line. I got to the store at 4 o'clock or so, 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And I'm standing in line, and the guy comes back and he goes, "Hey man, we're going to be closing at what time do they close? They close at 7, so they're not going to accept anybody in to purchase firearms after 6:30 because you got to go through the your background check and whatnot. And that usually takes about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're looking at maybe 20 or 30 minutes per customer, and they're only allowing a certain amount of people back at the gun counter at the same time. So about they were allowing one purchaser in the store, because we go directly to the gun case. We don't fart around in the rest of the store. It's like there's like a little path where you go right back to where the gun case is. And It was about 30 minutes per customer. So when someone goes in, it's going to be about 30 minutes until the next person gets called, and then the next person gets called. So you kind of do the math.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to be this isn't happening today. So they, of course, around 6:20 or so, they came out and they're like, hey, man, from this point back, you guys aren't going to get seen today.
Wow.
Oh, there was some people were throwing attitude. I'm just like, meh, okay, I'll just come back tomorrow. So I work, so I came back, I left early.
Yeah.
So it was around lunchtime. So I went to In-N-Out Burger, had a double animal style with animal style fries and an iced tea. Delicious food.
Of course.
And after that, I got in line. So I got in line. It was right around 12. So let's call it 12 o'clock. I got into the store at about 10 minutes after 5.
Ouch.
So I'm standing outside. It was a beautiful day.
Well,
so
I'm
standing outside for 5 hours and several minutes. Wow. But it was cool because everyone's sitting there going, this sucks, but this is what it is. And then one of the ladies, she was there with her husband, and she's like, I really want some Sonic. So she says, I'm going to go to Sonic.
Yeah.
And she turned around and looked at the people in line. She's like, any of y'all want some Sonic? So we're all throwing money at her, and she came back with like 10 or 15 different kinds of drinks. See, I didn't want one, but one of her friends was there.
Yeah.
And her friend left while she was gone to get all these, slushies or whatever.
Yeah.
So she's like, does anybody want a cranberry slushie? And there were no takers. So I kind of said, yeah, I'll take it, So we started talking. She was really cool.
Well,
we were all in the gun line practicing attempting to practice our Second Amendment rights.
Yes.
So to keep and bear arms. But anyway, I went back and I did the questionnaire for the, they checked my ID and they give me this little pad. It was like an iPad, and it's where you fill out your background check information.
Yeah.
I don't know. It took about 10 minutes to, fill in all the blanks and verify all my answers and stuff. They don't ask you. It's just basically name, social security number, ethnicity, your legal status in the country, height, weight. Have you ever been convicted of any crimes? Have you ever been convicted of spousal abuse? Are you dependent upon alcohol or drugs? Just those types of questions. So it took about 10 minutes to do that, and then I hit submit, and then the instructions it says let a team member know that you have submitted your form. So I did. I said, hey, I've submitted my form, and I handed the pad back to the guy. I said, hey, can I go walk around the store? And he's like, yeah, go ahead and walk around the store. I'll call you. I'll call you when your stuff's done.
Yeah.
I said, all right. So I'm looking in the gun case, and I turned the corner to where the holsters were, and he goes, hey, bro. So I came back to the gun case, and he goes, yeah, your check came back. It's okay to proceed.
Wow.
I swear it was like 2 minutes.
Nice.
It was, the thing is, there were people in front of me that I was in line with that went in before me that have been in that store for about an hour.
Oh, wow.
And they were still waiting for their thing to get done.
Wow. Oh, someone asked, what kind of weapon did you get?
I got a Taurus P111.
Nice. And hello,
9mm got 13 round capacity. It's small. It's a good concealed carry gun. So.
Oh, I have to tell you, you were talking about things that are short. Okay, I did go to the grocery store, not on base today, or not today. What was it?
Friday shopping day.
Well, yeah, actually, we did go Friday, and of all things, Camo's saying Taurus is a junk.
Well, it's yet to be determined. That's a subjective thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I don't like the way that when you rack the slide back, the release for it going forward, I think it takes a lot of pressure. But I'm thinking, once it gets broken in, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Loading the rounds in, I'm gonna have to get a speed loader because it's kind of hard. Once you get past like the third or fourth round, it's a 12-round mag.
Okay.
If you get past the third or fourth round, it gets a little tense, there's a lot of tension on that spring.
Okay.
Maybe that'll be I just need to break it in.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it's just like a new pair of shoes.
But anyway, I went actually to Yokes, and of all things, and I almost did this, and I was so tempted. We actually found some toilet paper.
Get out of town. Is it bamboo toilet paper?
No, it was actually Charmin, and there were 5 things of them still on the rack, and I sat there going, honey, look at this, and I held it and said, it's the Holy Grail.
You just struck gold, man.
And everybody looked and I got grins. I said, honey, we need to take a picture of this.
Selfie. Come here, honey, selfie.
I was laughing to her. I said, it's not like we need it, but what the hell? Let's get it just to say that we found toilet paper.
See, it's crazy, man. I mean, there's still toilet paper at the drugstores, Walgreens, and CVS. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's a limit on the purchase now. But it's out there. We have a restaurant, and I talked about. We did a sound check last night, and I mentioned that we have a restaurant here, brand new restaurant in Burleson, Texas, which is just south of Fort Worth. And there's a brand new restaurant. It's called, if I can remember this, American Relic.
Yeah, that's what you said.
And I don't know if they're open for business, but what they're doing is they're making little survival bags, and they're selling them for $32 a piece. And in that survival bag is a roll of a big, like a industrial sized roll of toilet paper.
Okay, the kind that goes on those big things inside a commercial toilet.
It's not going to fit on your roll at home because it's got that really super small diameter, like a 1-inch diameter thing in the middle. Mm-hmm. It's meant for whatever they mount their shit tickets on.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's the roll of toilet paper. There's a can of disinfectant like Lysol.
Okay.
A pound of beef. There's some potatoes, some vegetables, onions, garlic, and stuff.
Really?
A pound of flour, a pound of sugar. Just a bunch of things that you do need in your house that is not on the shelves in the grocery store right now. Well, so I thought that was neat. Yeah. I didn't make it there to get one because I really don't need any of that stuff. I've got plenty. But I'm definitely going to be eating at that restaurant just because of, what they're doing. Well, and it's a different take.
Exactly. And you have to think how many people, when they go to the grocery store, don't think to pick up some of the things you just talked about and are sitting there going, man, I should have got some flour or I should have got these things. And they're sitting there going, well, shoot, these guys give this pack and it's got the stuff we need to make stuff because a lot of people, I think, when they first were thinking, oh, hey, I'll just go buy some TV dinners, some stuff like that. That'll get me through the next week or so. But, okay, you start wanting more than TV dinner.
I've been really lazy. Mm-hmm. Really lazy. I've been eating out a lot.
Uh-huh.
And in my head, it's like, okay, in my head, I am supporting my local businesses.
Yes.
Right? Uh-huh. It makes me feel better about spending unwanted cash. That didn't come out right. Spending cash when I really ought not to.
Uh-huh.
See, I'm not worried about it. And I know there's people out there that are out of work or they've been furloughed, or it's like, hey, we only need like half the people. So they kind of cut your hours.
Yeah.
Some jobs, like my daughter, she's a part-time employee at a Costco, but she's working like 30-something hours a week.
Nice.
Because they need their people.
Oh yeah, Costco. Walmart.
I don't know if this is a Costco-wide thing.
It is.
She just got an email from her big boss. I mean the the dude who runs the Costco where she lives sent out a blanket email to all the employees saying that anybody who works from, I think it was like March 3rd or March 2nd until April 17th, I want to say, is going to receive hazard pay for the time that they have spent. And it was like a $2 or $3 an hour.
Wow. Nice.
And it'll be in their check on that certain week in April. So I thought that was pretty neat.
That is nice. And come on, Albert. Everybody knows I'm going to cough no matter what. It's just me. Albert saying, "Oh no, Owl, just cough." Come on.
And if you're looking for beef at your local stores and you can't find it, you can go to the Casey Cattle Company. They have just a large amount of cuts of beef.
Okay. Also,
they've been on the show before. They're veteran. It's a veteran operated.
Okay. Well, yeah, and that's just it. There's still things you can get online, and it's not because grocery stores that we're running out. It's that a lot of places are having a hard time getting the food to the shelves. It's not that they don't have the food. It's getting, because of all the new directorates in place to make sure that people don't get sick, because you don't want to give your truck drivers anything, and you don't want your people working in the warehouse to get sick. So they're being extra careful, so it's taking longer to get things off of the trucks. And they're not getting things to the stores as quickly as they should. But I will tell you, the only thing and my wife and I walked all over Yokes, and everything was stocked except for the toilet paper. But again, I managed to find 5 bags of them, and that's saying something. Everything
you didn't hoard them all. You probably bought whatever you needed, and then you left the rest on the shelf.
Exactly. I just bought one, and that's just it. Right now, it's not that they're out of meat, because you listen to distributors. They say, we've got everything. The problem is getting it to the stores because of the delays with cleaning, and everything has to be wiped down. That takes extra time in the stores, and so they don't have the loading time. Plus, they have to be extra careful with the truck drivers and the warehouse workers, especially the truck drivers, because those guys, because they are insulated in their trucks, the last thing you want to do is give one of these guys, coronavirus. Because
I was thinking about that today, because there are a lot of trucks on the road and they're doing their jobs and they're awesome.
Exactly.
And, I was thinking, like, man, if something ever went around, if these guys ever, caught it and spread it, that would suck.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't even say it. Truck stops. Okay, the truck stops are even being extra careful. And some are just shutting themselves down because they don't want to give truckers anything. They're leaving their pumps open, and you can put your card in and stuff, but they're not allowing anybody to come in.
So they can't come in and take showers. I mean, I guess your long haul truckers would suffer a little bit more. A bunch of these other guys are just, they're pretty regional. Like the Walmart people, they come from Arkansas and they branch out to other. I guess that main hub will deliver to other warehouses in larger cities, and then they just kind of pick stuff up locally. I mean, they're not traveling across the damn country.
Exactly.
Those folks, that kind of sucks, man. If they got the showers closed down and they can't.
They're being very, very careful at this point. And hello, Holly. It's good to see you. Hello, Heath. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody in here tonight. Means that at least means that you're capable of sitting up and watching a phone or computer screen, which means you're doing okay. I like to think we
got so many different platforms right now. There's a lot of ways to consume WTF Nation Radio.
Exactly. But no, I told you. Excuse me. One of my followers ended up with coronavirus. That follows me when I do gaming, and he actually managed to get rid of it in a week.
Well, they kicked it. It kicked its ass, but he's still got to be safe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He managed. He managed. He said that he caught it. He's managed to get rid of it to where he's not hurting like he was. He's actually breathing okay now. He didn't have to get admitted. So
that's good. And they've got some kind of a drug cocktail right now that's showing a lot of results. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's the antimalarial, along with an antibiotic and zinc. That's what they have found works really well.
So we were talking earlier about a thought that I had, and apparently other people have had the same thought. But I mean, we're going to probably see the peak of this shortly, maybe within a few weeks, and then it'll trail off.
Yes.
And summer's going to be here. The warmer months are going to probably kill this thing off. And that's just me speculating. But I was wondering about the other hemisphere that is now going into their winter months.
Well, we talked about this before we got on air, and I had brought up that's actually been approached by Fauci.
Yeah, you said Fauci was talking about that. I think I think you've been listening to my conversations.
Fauci has said at this point that's the good, the up, and the downside to this. One, they need to find out if it's going to die out like most viruses do during our summer, spring, summer. And then at that point, they're going to monitor the countries that are going into their winter. And they said it is a worry because at that point they have to worry, is it going to be brought in from those countries? And do they need to put travel bans on those countries? And then the other part of it is, do they have to keep the monitoring up because of all the different traveling we're so global anymore as far as travel. Someone can go from one of the countries that it goes into the winter, go up into, say Italy, and then come over here. And if we've lifted our travel ban from Italy, but not from that country, and if they come from that other country to here, they just gave it to Italy and us again during the summer.
Right.
And so there's this question of how are we going to really deal with this at this point?
I mean, now's not the time to. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet.
Mm-mm.
Even when it appears that we're going to be out of the woods and it's going to be dying off, I don't think that's a time to let down our guard. I think we're in an excellent position as far as the United States goes, because we're not like Italy, we're not like China, we're not. Our population density isn't as dense as China or Italy.
No, it is not.
We're not Americans, I guess. We always do our business. We're at about an arm's length of the next person. Both in Italy and in China, they're like arms wrapped around each other. They're very physical. They're very they're very close.
Yes.
With each other physically. So I guess the rate of transmission is extremely high.
Well, and their population densities. Differences. I mean, they're.
I don't know how China does their family stuff. I know in Italy. I mean, you got, mom and dad with the kids are living in the house, but guess what? So was grandma and great grandma, grandma and grandpa and great grandma and grandpa. The family stay together very close. In the same homes.
Yes, and that's mainly out of economy because. Over there, it's
just their culture.
Well, it's culture, but it's economy, because it's hard to own property. So a lot of times you will find 2, 3, 4 generations in one house just because they can't afford. And I mean, you will see them. You'll see multi-level buildings, and it's one generation on each level. So, between that and the fact that in the cities they're much closer together, and there's a lot, a lot more of it. What they say, we're one of the few countries that still are per capita or people per square mile is
82 per square mile.
Yeah, versus other countries which are much higher.
Italy. I didn't look at China, but I looked at Italy. Italy is 500 and some change, like 530 people per square mile.
And that's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's 60,500,000 people in Italy. And that's a lot.
Yeah, and that's not a big country.
No.
So it's things to think about.
It's a boot.
Hey, Ross, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So that you have to keep things like that in perspective. But what Fauci was saying is this winter or this summer, we hope that we get a break as long as we're watching the countries where they're going to have their winter, and as long as this virus acts like the flu and dies out in the heat.
I think we could probably make a little headway on this. I've been, we're under the I don't want to say quarantine. I don't think it's quarantine. It's just stay your ass at home.
Yeah.
Except for if you're an essential employee, like if you're working in the food stores, or if you're working at if you're a medical provider or whatnot, restaurants, some restaurants.
Yeah.
But there were just so many people out, and at the grocery store, I was seeing like entire families shopping. Mom, dad, 3 kids walking around the grocery store. I'm like, if they just limited that to, okay, kids stay home with dad or stay home with mom, and one parent goes out and does the grocery shopping, limit everybody's exposure to each other.
Yes.
I think we can make a little bit more headway on this.
Well,
and I'm just speaking here. I don't know what else is going on in other parts of the United States.
Well, and that's, see, where I'm at, Inslee has not done a shutdown yet, but he has done enough to where he has threatened to do so if people didn't stop doing the stupid stuff. Last weekend, there was a group that got together, over 2,000 people on the beach for a walk that was supposed to be broke up, and they didn't. And then there was a barbecue in Seattle for 1,500 people in the main park. Again,
jeez.
Was not supposed to happen. Here, I don't know about Seattle, but here where I'm at, you can tell, and I mean you really can tell that people are self-quarantining, because like when I said we went to Yokes, it was people, there were very few people, and when you saw someone in the same row, everybody just kind of went to the opposite side of the row, walked by each other, looking at each other, holding their breath. And back in the meat area, everybody just kind of looking. There's one person go up, and everybody kind of pulls back, and but that's okay. I get that. When you drive the streets, there's a lot less cars on the road.
There's a lot less cars, but I mean, here in this metro area, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there's still a lot of people. And one thing I did notice is there's a lot of people out there that are driving like assholes.
Oh.
I mean, it's like they're hauling ass. I mean, dude, we got 70 and 80 mile an hour speed zones here. Mostly 70, I guess. But these folks are doing well over the speed line. They're like weaving in and out of traffic. The motorcycle. There's a lot of folks. The weather's been really nice, so a lot of motorcycles on the road today.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys on crotch rockets doing 100 miles an hour, just tearing up the road, man.
Well, and here's the thing is, there are police now getting this, and I think that there are some people kind of counting on it, that the police numbers are a little lower because of it. So, just my thought, because what they say in New York City, they're having major problems now with EMS, police, and nurses getting sick now. And that's...
I did notice that there was an uptick of law enforcement getting sick.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you there's an uptick of healthcare workers getting sick, but I'm not seeing those numbers. It's happening. They're around these people every single day.
They're not giving them out, but they are bringing in, what is it? They're bringing in those 2 ships, one on each coast.
Oh, really? That's good.
And I guess they're going to pull in, reserves, National Guard, and active duty to man those ships to give some relief to the places that are getting hit the worst. All right, Benjamin, I actually watched that to a point. I do agree Carol Baskin I do think that she killed her husband, but COVID-19 is not her fault. That's the show you were talking about.
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
I haven't watched it. I probably won't watch it.
I had to stop watching it. I got like 2 more episodes to go, and I had to stop watching it because the guy who was getting hit with lawsuits was getting to the point where he couldn't start. It got to where he wasn't able to take care of his animals, and they're showing those pictures. I can't watch that.
Oh, with the cats wasting?
Yeah. That's just not, I can't deal with that. But it's definitely, it's one of those things that you can't write stuff like this because it's so odd and it's so twisted. But, the first couple episodes kind of suck you in, but when I hit that episode where I saw they had 14 big cats in one cage.
Oh, gee.
Uh-huh. And they didn't have enough food for the cats, the bears, and all that. I just sat there and said, okay, I have to stop watching. I can't deal with that. I'm a animal lover, and that just hurt. That was too much for me.
Yeah, Minx has been posting a lot about that, memes and stuff. So, speaking of Minx,
I was going to say
it's her birthday today.
Anybody who has contact with Minx, say happy birthday to her and let her know that we're thinking of her. She isn't here, so we can sit there and say, how old are you? Like she'd tell us.
30, 32, 31.
Okay. But today is Minx's birthday.
Yeah, her and Spanky. I see online, her and Spanky going back, like trading memes and stupid videos, and it's just, I don't think I need to watch the show just because they kind of tie it all together for me.
Yeah,
it's a train wreck that I don't want to participate in yet. I'm saying that. I mean, I didn't watch Breaking Bad for years, and I just over this Christmas I watched all 5 seasons plus the El Camino plus all the Better Call Sauls, and it's just I love that. So I tossed it aside for years, just going, it just looks stupid. And then I started watching, and I'm like, man, this is the greatest show ever.
Now, here's the real question: how many of y'all are binge watching at this point? Okay,
I started watching Person of Interest, which is a very, very interesting, very interesting.
I have that one marked. I'm going to be watching it.
Jim Caviezel's in it.
Okay.
He was in Passion of the Christ. I don't know if he's been in anything else.
Okay.
So he's done Passion of the Christ, and then the second Passion of the Christ, which is coming out. But he did he plays a badass ex-CIA guy in Person of Interest, and it's a decent show. It's a good story.
Okay. Binge drinking. Oh, Ross. No, binge watching. I don't need you. I'm not talking about killing your liver.
Oh, Joe Diffie died. Did you hear that?
Joe Diffie. Okay.
Country music guy.
Yeah. I recognize the name.
60. He was 61. He died from complications due to COVID-19.
Damn. And that's just it. I've talked to some people here and there, and everybody says it's the pneumonia is there's been some people that I've talked to that have had pneumonia before, and they said it's just like it is pneumonia. You just end up with pneumonia, and the problem is it doesn't go away. It really digs in, and the fact that they've got the cocktail now to kind of get it quick. You have to get in quick once you know you got it, and it works. The quicker you get in, the quicker or the better it works. I've had pneumonia, and that kind of stuff kind of scares me. Pneumonia can, for those of you that haven't had it.
I haven't had it. I guess it just feels like you're drowning.
It's exactly like you're drowning. The problem is people don't quite understand. Okay, so you can't breathe. No, it's more than you can't breathe.
The breaths you take, it feels like they're not productive.
Well, it's your body is trying to breathe, not just your diaphragm. Every part of you is trying to breathe. Because the minute you start having oxygenation going on with your heart and your lungs, your body starts getting fatigued and starts almost like cramping and trying to shut down because it's not getting the nutrients, it's not getting the oxygen. So it's like everything in you is starving at the same time. And it is one of the worst feelings that you can have. And I've been watching the type of stuff they're doing now. They're actually rigging as many as 7 people on one ventilator until they can get enough ventilators.
I heard Dyson, the badass vacuum cleaner maker guy, they're tooling up to make ventilators. Mm-hmm. Same with
Ford.
The Ford plant.
Yep.
One of the Ford plants is going to be making ventilators.
Yep.
That's badass.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, we had a stockpile of ventilators. We had a stockpile of masks. And what happened to the ventilators is they let them go too long. They didn't keep them up. They didn't rotate them, things of that nature. And the masks, they never resupplied after the H1N1.
Which killed like 1.5 billion people globally.
Yeah, they didn't resupply.
Is that the right number? 1.5 billion? That sounds like a lot.
No, it's not billion.
It's not billion. It's probably million.
It's million.
It was a lot of damn people.
Yeah, it was a lot of people. And that's the problem is, that's the reason we're having the problems with the mask now is the Obama administration didn't take the time to go ahead and slowly resupply. And all of a sudden we went and said, okay, we need masks. And it's like, where's our supply? And they're going, everybody's putting their hands up going, I don't know. Excuse me.
Didn't Cuomo say the same thing? He said, President Trump said that New York was stockpiling ventilators and masks. He said that's not true, and then he said we're essentially stockpiling ventilators and masks to be distributed at a later time or something like that.
Yeah.
He kind of stepped on his own penis there.
Yeah, exactly. Check out County Commissioner for Okoboji, Florida, said it was in national news. Okay. Kerry saying something.
Florida's really getting hit now.
Yes, they are.
And that sucks because that's the older population down in Florida.
Exactly, and that's what they were worried about. They have a big older population down there. So that's going to be rough. I mean, right now New York is it accounts for over half of the or is it still half? I know at least a third, if not half, of all infections right now are New York. And I think they're also as much as far as deaths. And then the rest is spread out between Washington and California and New Jersey.
Let me see. Let's look at the CDC website here. The total cases, 122,653 with 2,112 deaths. Oof. Dude.
Mm-hmm.
Jersey. It doesn't have There's New York. They have. It says they're dark red, and that means see that 38,977 cases.
Okay.
Good Lord, man.
Uh-huh.
Virgin Islands has it. Puerto Rico has it. Guam.
SS Comfort is on their way there. Or it actually dropped anchor. They just have to get it up and running. The idea is they're not going to actually take the coronavirus patients. They're actually going to take everything else so that the hospitals can focus on coronavirus.
That's a good way to take care of it. That's I like that. That's a good idea.
And these ships are 1,000-bed ships, and they said they're going to man them fully.
So I'm sure there's still a hold on elective surgeries. Like,
yes.
What's an elective surgery? Like lipo and...
No, that's what you don't understand. See, okay, my mother has to... she's older, and her esophagus has started to close in, and she can't swallow, but very, very little, and more than anything, just drink. They want to put a bulb in there and expand her esophagus in the right places to get it to go back up. They can't do that surgery. It's considered elective. Yeah. Okay. That's. You'd think that would be considered life-threatening, but they said
it seems like it would be a life-saving thing.
But they said unless she chokes on something, they will not. They cannot consider it life-threatening. It's sad. There are a lot of surgeries that are backing up at this point. I think I told you yesterday. Doctors offices are saying, okay, we're only taking our worst patients, or if you've got a major league problem, with specialists. Okay. I thought, well, I'm not having any problems, so I really didn't need. I thought I'd call my doctor and just check in and say, okay, I expected him to say, don't worry about it. I got someone more important. He said, no, you're considered one of my worst patients.
Thanks, Doc.
He's not the only one. It's like, I'm doing fine. And he says, no, you are because of all your problems and all the things that go on with you, I have to monitor you, and it's a necessity versus other patients. And he's endocrinologists see not just glandular problems; they also see diabetics, things of that nature. And I thought, the diabetics at this point would probably be going nuts because they can't exercise as much, right? And he says, no, you're more important. He said, you actually are on one of the tops on my list. It's like, damn.
I'm looking at a map of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a map that's they're tracking COVID-19. There's like little, specks and spots and stuff in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota is not bad, but you look at the population centers, Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Very, very red. Chicago, extremely red. Milwaukee, extremely red. Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, look at it. Atlanta, New Orleans, Houston, Dallas. And I make my way over to the East Coast, and I'm looking everywhere from like Richmond, Virginia, all the way up to Boston. It's like solid sea of red.
Yeah, and it's big cities that are hitting the worst. You got to think, and this is something that a lot of people don't think about. People travel. The people who are more likely to travel in the winter are your people who live in cities. Most people who live in rural areas just don't, it's not as big of a deal to them.
So I'm looking at California, and California's got its fair share of cases, but there's big red blobs in like San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco.
Yeah.
Sacramento's got a little bit, Fresno's got a little bit, and there's little splotches throughout the entire state. Nevada's got Vegas. There's a red splotch there, and then it looks like Reno has a red splotch there. But I mean, there's not with the amount of the homeless. We've talked about all the homeless in San Francisco and in Los Angeles and stuff. You'd expect it to be a lot more.
Well, but here's the question. Are the homeless being monitored as much?
I really don't know.
Exactly.
I would think not.
And so that's why I would have to sit there and wonder, is there stuff going on with the homeless that, I mean, for all we know, it's going rampant there, and just nobody's really accounting for it because they're more worried about people who aren't homeless.
Or the homeless aren't going into hospitals for care. They're just kind of they're suffering through it.
Exactly. And Albert, did the diabetics bother to exercise in the first place? Yes. Believe it or not, a lot of diabetics do exercise. They actually, Insurance Act does cover a lot of times gyms because they're diabetic. But the gyms are closed. And the malls are closed to where they can't even do their walking. A lot of malls, they'll before they open up all the shops, they go ahead and allow walkers. Exactly. And those have closed. So they're kind of stuck. I can now look out during the day outside my window, and I will see families walking back and forth just to get exercise. And I know that's, it's like, okay, we got to get out of the house or I'm going to kill these kids.
Yeah. Now I'm hoping that there's a larger appreciation for our teachers.
Exactly. That would probably be, it's like, damn, our teachers or my kids' teachers put up with a lot. They need. I want my kids back.
So everyone's all the kids are out of school. I think everybody's out of school.
Yes.
Across our nation at least. So I imagine this kind of it's a stress on the family because at least one of the parents has to be there. In some cases, I guess if you have older kids, then that doesn't need to happen. But I mean, you're going to be. I'm just thinking about this and kind of how it's the effects of having the kids home all the time and not being able to go outside and play with their friends or whatnot, and socialize. They're at home playing video games and they're eating all the freaking food in the house.
And that's the thing that my wife, they sent everybody home. They had an office of 300 people. And only 10 are allowed to be there now. And my wife is home, and a bunch of her coworkers are home, and they have kids. And they're talking, and the mothers of these kids are like, you know what? I now appreciate the fact I go to work.
You need to go to work to take a break.
Exactly. Hello, Philly. How you doing? No, it's, and they're saying that. Even when both parents are home, they have to switch off, and especially with like the ladies who work at my wife's office, they're actually they're working at home, so they log in, and they're supposed to be logged in and available at a certain time, and all the managers check on them. And
so here's a little life hack.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at home and you're working and you're supposed to be logged in and showing activity, go get an oscillating fan and then clip like a paper clip to your mouse cable if you have a corded mouse, and then and if you need to step away for however many minutes or you want to take a break or whatever, but still make it look like you're active online doing whatever you're doing, turn on that oscillating fan and have that move the mouse. So it looks like there's activity?
No, what they actually do is they can actually do what they call screenshots. They can actually go in and see what you're actively doing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Because they're the company computers. She actually brought home her computer from work.
Did she go grab the monitors?
Yes. She has two monitors.
my job is doing really cool stuff as far as the people that can work from home. They have a VPN so these engineers and whatnot and software guys can actually do work from home.
Yeah.
But they're really, really lenient on the taking time off because you got a two-parent household, kids are at home, so it's like every other day or so these guys are taking off. They like the husband and wife are switching off.
Yeah.
So that's really cool, and since they're able to do their job at home, then they can do that. There's a lot of us, me especially, that I can't do my job from home. I'm a hands-on guy, so you got to build stuff, and you got to build stuff there. So that's what I do.
I'm looking at those maps of the different places. Jeez. Wow. This is a lot. Yeah, Wyoming, 86 confirmed. Where I'm 195 deaths, 4,409 confirmed in Washington State.
You're around the Spokane area, right?
Yes.
It's not too bad. There's still, there's of course cases there. Let's see, 108 confirmed, 2 deaths.
Yep. I see it. Yakima, 100, Skagit, 97. They start out by the highest. King County, unfortunately they didn't put the city. They put King County, 2,159 people.
Does nobody live west of Seattle?
There are really small towns west of Seattle.
Oh, that looks okay. That's a national forest. That's why.
Well, yeah, there's a national forest. There's also things like, Everett, a couple other. There's actually a naval station. I know there's 2 naval stations in those areas, along with an Army base, an Air Force base in that area. So they have to be locking down pretty hard.
Chicago's looking awful.
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis isn't looking too bad. As dense of a population St. Louis is, it's not too bad. 336 confirmed. That's it's not bad.
No,
way to go, St. Louis.
New York is right now the highest. You're talking 33,768. That is right now the highest. For you down in Texas, Harris?
Yeah, that's Harris County. That's Houston.
And then Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas sucks, man. Dallas has like almost 500 cases. They had 10. I know there's 10 deaths.
Yeah. But then you look over in Europe, and that's when it gets really bad. They're saying Italy, 97,689 confirmed, and 10,779 deaths.
And that's just in, like, if you go to San Marino, if you click on Rome, Rome's got the 97,689, but then you look up that little red dot above Rome, that there's another 224 cases with 22 deaths. Then Milan is just Milan. No, Milan didn't have any. What's above? Switzerland's right above. Come on, geography brain. It's got to be Switzerland.
Switzerland has 14,829.
Dude, that's a lot.
Especially for Switzerland.
Yeah, with 300 deaths.
Yeah, 300 deaths. There's a lot going on. The best thing we can do,
But as far as all the active cases and all the deaths, I wish they would do more reporting on, there's this many people have recovered from it. And this is the age demographic. Give us a little bit of a bigger picture of what this thing is.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's not as deadly as the flu. It's different than the flu.
Yes.
So there's a lot of back and forth as to, why are they spending so much time on this when the flu has so many more deaths? The flu's been around. We have vaccine for the flu.
Exactly.
We don't have a vaccine for this, and we're trying to keep it from getting out of hand. And it looks like it's completely out of hand, but it's really not.
No, it's not.
I
No.
wish other countries would take the social distancing thing. I've seen a lot of things like from India and South Africa, where they're just having parties and dancing and, without, the distancing thing. They're just,
Oh yeah.
it's like they're blowing it off, or, a lot of, what the hell, they were taking some Arab country. It might have been Iran. A bunch of people died because someone floated, if you drink something that it looked like it was gasoline.
Oh God.
If you drink that, that'll kill the virus. Well, yeah, it'll kill your body too.
Uh-huh. And that's been a big thing is there's been a lot of people trying to say there are a lot of things out there that will help you. And well, no, there aren't. As far as
essential oils are not going to cure this.
No. St. Louis was the 58th most populated city in the U.S. 2010 and decreasing obviously as the years moved on. Okay, thank you, Forrest.
See, the deaths during the Spanish flu, I think I mentioned this last week, were so high it actually changed life expectancy around the world.
Life expectancy. It also changed the way people looked at the world. There were countries that were trying to become more global that actually kind of went back into their little shells because of just that. So that's the type of stuff that needs to be thought about. What is this actually going to do to us when this is all over? What are we going to do?
I hope people still continue to wash their hands.
Yeah. I'm talking about what are they going to do in terms of how they're going to look at global economy, other people, and traveling. I mean, because there were people that traveled went on vacation, and they ended up with this. And so they're sitting there going, okay, I went over to Italy and I caught this. If I would have stayed in the U.S., I might have been better off. So the question will be, do I want to take those trips anymore? Because everybody is always about what happened last time.
You look at 9/11. Everyone kind of, got really myopic, a couple of years down the road. It's like they forgot about it.
Yeah.
They were living their life like it was, September 10th as opposed to September 12th. People forget. Short memories.
Well, I don't know if they're going to have such a short memory about this one. This is kind of one of those because of the shutdown and how many things it's hurting. This week they passed that coronavirus bill, and it's supposed to help people. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, people will finally see a check.
But how much is that? How much is that going to help if this thing's not going to be over?
And that's the real question. And that's what everybody's been saying is, okay, this might help. It might help people coming on the 1st of April. It might help some people through April. But what happens come May?
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard Trump is really trying to press everybody into lifting things up as soon as possible so businesses can get back on their feet.
President Trump is extremely optimistic.
Yes.
He's really optimistic. I think he threw out he wants everybody back to work by Easter or something like that.
Yes.
And, you gotta, and that's just being optimistic. You can't just say this is when we're going back to work, regardless of.
Oh yeah, he's listening to his advisors.
He's a really optimistic fella, and I think he's doing a decent job.
Yes.
I don't think anybody could do any better.
Well, you have to be optimistic because you have to keep people looking forward. You can't get people so far into their head with the the chaos to where you start seeing suicides. I mean, that's the last thing you want.
Or people just freaking out.
Exactly. Because that's when people...
Some people have anxiety issues, and this isn't helping.
And that's when people pull out little pistols and just start walking down the road shooting at people like you,
Not me.
Just walking down the road going, I'm having a bad day, and, I got to kill me a couple people because,
That'll never happen.
I know, I'm giving you crap.
Unless they're zombies.
Oh, there you go. Maybe this is part of the next zombie apocalypse. After you've had the COVID-19, within months you don't know it, but all of a sudden you will become a zombie.
Well, and lawyers are going to jump on this. If you were made to go to work,
exactly,
you may be entitled to significant financial compensation.
Exactly. So there is the questions, and that's the unknowns, and that's part of the problem is the unknowns at this point.
So it's break time, and I know
Yep.
when you come back from the break, you've got some really awesome news stories. We kind of went over this story by story last night, and these are awesome. These are terribly awesome.
I had fun getting them.
That's great.
So everybody, we are at that point where we're going to go ahead and take a break. So smoke them if you got them. Go do what you need to do. We will see you back in approximately 10 minutes. And enjoy yourself.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Shots.
Before coffee on a Tuesday, it's already been a bad week. My girls had a couple flats, and my dishwasher sprung a leak. From the kitchen, her complaining, it just ain't cute anymore. I get the itch and start drifting towards the great outdoors. I smell the honeysuckle blooms, I can see the red buds too. In my garage, I got rods up on the wall. I got a John boat in the yard under a faded camo tarp. I need a reset to my spot, I hear the call. I just gone fishing, let her know that I ain't gone. Junk mail don't come out there, my phone won't ring. The only thing I want to hear is my reel with a big one on a string. That large mouth don't talk at all, and my weight just sinks away. Set him free, bring him home, the one decision I gotta make. I smell the honeysuckle blooms, I can see the red buds too. In my garage, I got rods up on the wall. I got a John boat in the yard under a faded camo tarp. I need a reset to my spot, I hear the call. Just gone fishing, let her know that I ain't gone. I got my tackle box in the front seat and my best friend in the bed. Don't come looking for me, 'cause I ain't coming home till long after that sunset. I smell the honeysuckle blooms, I can see the red buds too. I got the rods in my garage down on the wall. Threw my John boat in the truck, filled my camo cooler up. I hit the reset, hit my spot, and heeded that call. I just gone fishing, let her know that I ain't gone. No, I ain't gone missing, I've just gone fishing, let her know that I ain't gone.
naturally. Daylight to dark is not for the typical man. Just a backwoods country boy, proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Well, this is my rifle, this is my gun. Let's get 'em, boys, come on and get you some. Let's get you some. And I'll fire all my rounds downrange till the enemy hits the sand. Yes, sir, I knew exactly what I was doing when I swore to Uncle Sam. If you don't like the way I'm living, just remember that it's for you. I'm a redneck camel wearing son of a gun for the red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Pack my bags, headed out to the big sandbox. Just some good old boys and me, some medicine tonight. Well, the price of freedom, son, it don't come free. I guess that's why the good Lord chose me. This here's my rifle, this here's my gun. Let's get 'em, boys, come on and get you some. Let's get you some. And I'll fire all my rounds downrange till the enemy hits the sand. Yes, sir, I knew exactly what I was doing when I swore to Uncle Sam. If you don't like the way I'm living, just remember that it's for you. I'm a redneck camel wearing son of a gun. I'm a redneck camel wearing son of a gun for the red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. We do it for you, 'cause that's what we do.
WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shoot, thank you very much. I apologize. I didn't turn on my mic. Wouldn't you know it? All right, let's try this again. I love it. All right. We were talking to zombie apocalypse. Here are the questions for you. Do you have the weaponry that is needed to take care of the zombies? Not too powerful to where it goes through and through and hits so many people you actually kill someone who is not a zombie, but he is yet strong enough to make sure it goes through the skull to take care of that zombie with the thick head. And here's the second question I guess you have to ask yourself. Are you capable? Are you capable of taking out a loved one if you've known they've been scratched? There's the questions. And I apologize. I went on and I forgot to take care of my mic. But I am up and running again. All right, everybody. We are in the second hour. Yes, I muted my mic now. What kind of zombies? You know, there's the fast-running zombies. I mean, which zombie do you think? Now, okay, how many of you watch, and I know everybody's binging on stuff, iZombie. iZombie, they're not actually zombies to the point where they're completely mindless unless they go too long without brains. And they feed on the brains in the morgue, things of that nature. So, which zombie do you think we should hope for? The iZombie zombies or the Dawn of the Living Dead? Geez. And I know the show because I used to watch it. The Walking Dead. I mean, there's all sorts of zombies out there. The prediction is which one do we go for? Which one do we hope for? Now, since it's a virus, I'd almost think it'd be like The Living Dead or iZombie. I mean, you have to ask yourself, Walking Dead zombies? Okay, Walking Dead zombies means that even if you don't get it, when you die, because it is a virus, you actually end up getting it, and instead of dying, you end up becoming a zombie. That's a hard one to figure out, huh? At that point, I guess you'd want to have yourself a good 10 gauge. And a decent sniper rifle. One of the two. If not both, if you can. Michael says, I'm a purist. George Romero all the way. Okay, there you go. I love it. I'm thinking the coronavirus, because I had jokingly said, okay, the coronavirus people, you know, after you've had the coronavirus, you don't know, maybe in a couple months, all of a sudden, those who had the coronavirus start in a couple months changing. Just kind of like Walking Dead, where they get sick and all of a sudden they change. Well, you don't know. Maybe, you know, they don't talk about those people that are getting better. Maybe there's something going on there. Maybe you just don't know. Said it was aliens that created the zombie plague. Oh, interesting. Michael says the creator of TWD said it was aliens that created the zombie plague. That's interesting. I did not know that. Thank you for that information. That is interesting. So then you have to ask yourself, what would you do? And are you capable of going through with, okay, well, this person turned it up. And worse yet, someone dies of natural causes and you have to break their neck or kill or knock their brain out. Otherwise, they reanimate. So maybe we should start watching those COVID-19 people a little closer. You don't know. It may be that we will see them start, you know, those people who were perfectly fine, that supposedly they healed up and they're just fine and dandy. All of a sudden they start going around, you know, since I got better from that COVID, I've had this hankering for this really gray matter. I'm kidding, of course. Do not take me seriously. I better play this before I go too much further here. Hold on.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
There you go. I'm just having fun, everybody. Don't take me too seriously. but then there is that question. What happens if the COVID-19 was China's way of turning people into zombies? And it's just slow activating. One day, you got over the COVID, and you're feeling fine. And then the next day, you start feeling a little weird. And people start smelling like dinner. And then not too far, another day or two, and food just doesn't taste right. But boy, humans start smelling better and better. And you find yourself going, a lot more. A lot more. I know. You got to have a humor, people. Everybody, we have to have a humor. I think that's the one thing I will always keep saying about all this is you have to have a sense of humor. When I was talking about the fact that my doctors don't consider me, that they consider me top priority even though I'm fine, the one thing I have to remind myself, sense of humor. Because to me, it's like, I'm just, I'm doing okay now. I'm not a top priority, but all of a sudden I am a top priority. It's like, no, I'm not. You've got to have fun. And that's the best thing I can say. And speaking of fun, okay, we're going to get into some stories. Oh, there we go. Puzzles, dancing, and donkeys. Celebs do social distancing. Forrest is saying that theory works out in the motor pool. Thank you. They're used to full social calendars, the gaze of adoring fans and being surrounded by crowds. But in these days of Corona lockdown, celebrities are shut indoors just like the rest of us. Here's a look at how the world's biggest stars are fighting the boredom. Boateng's, Boateng, toilet roll kicks. Bundesliga footballer Jerome Boateng has started a trend by doing kick-ups with toilet paper, an idea that has become a symbol of the coronavirus crisis in many countries thanks to shortages caused by stockpiling. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I mean, he's sitting there flaunting toilet paper in front of people. I got toilet paper, and I can kick it around. I got enough to kick it around. Okay, I know. Bad John. Michael said I'd be a trophy zombie killer, but like a participation trophy. So you become a cannibal instead of a zombie. Okay, there you go. Those cough drops you're chewing are good in basic training. Forrest. I have to use the cough drops. I apologize. I do have my asthma and breathing problems, and this kind of keeps me from really hacking bad, okay? In an Instagram, the Bayern Munich defender manages an impressive 20 kicks before the makeshift football finally tumbles to the floor. The Terminator feeds his mini pony. Former California governor and Terminator actor Schwarzenegger set Twitter alight with a video urging people to stay home and listen to the experts, while casually feeding carrots to his mini pony, Whiskey, and Donkey Lulu from his kitchen table. Okay, that's interesting. Ellis DeGeneres tries a puzzle. U.S. talk show host Ellen DeGeneres tried her hand at a 4,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, sharing her progress on Instagram before admitting it was too taxing. So much for that plan, she wrote, after posting a picture of herself relaxing on the couch with her dogs. Robbie Williams, not to be mixed up with Robin Williams, distant lover. British singer Robbie Williams is keeping a safe distance from wife Ida Field after returning from a trip to Australia. In video called A Social Distancing Love Story, Ida reenacts the world's most romantic balcony scene while Robbie looks on from below. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou? That's cute. J-Lo, singer and actress J-Lo joined TikTok's Flip the Switch clothes-swapping craze, snapping herself in a suit and shades while her fiancé, Alex Rodriguez, strikes a pose in one of her legendary figure-hugging dresses. Oh my. Pink and Serena. Mums in action. U.S. singer Pink shared a handwritten schedule to keep her daughter Willow and son Jameson entertained during the day, including time allotted for yoga, walks, and chores, and later bedtime if the kids don't fight. Okay, smart thought. Lizzo meditates. In one of the more unusual videos, U.S. singer Lizzo, someone I guess I haven't heard about, posted a 30-minute meditation session on Instagram, complete with a floaty flute recital, healing crystals, and an ocean sound machine. We're going to take all of this fear and transmute it into love, she says. Well, those aren't bad ideas, quite honestly. I've heard there's a Sharpie challenge out there. Sharpie challenge. Yeah, okay. Two things I can't find. Toilet paper and that damn 10mm socket. Right? I get that. Okay. Now, for those of you that know me, you know I'm a shaman. I am actually considering, and if I get a little bit of feedback, I may go ahead and do this. I may do it anyway just because I'm bored. Instead of doing this backdrop, I'm going to come up with a different backdrop, and I'm actually going to do meditations. As being a shaman, I am very good with them, guided meditations, and I thought, everybody's sitting at home stressed, and people are getting on each other's nerves. So I've thought about doing a meditation that would be for people to actually get rid of the stress of the chaos and the stress of being home with our loved ones, so that we could recognize that maybe it isn't a bad thing. I mean, my wife, she's actually enjoying being home away from work, because at work, she says it's more stressful at work because there's more of a push for social interaction, and she's more of an introvert than an extrovert. Those of you though that are extroverts, this can be stressful for you. So I can see where maybe being able to sit down and just let go of things might be helpful. So that's what I plan to do. If people show any interest, I'm going to experiment with that this week, just so you know. It's something to think about. Try coronavirus challenge. I don't know. I'm going to do what I do. I don't take challenges. I do what I do. Let's see if we can start our own trend. All right. Let's go on to another story. Scammers use coronavirus to trick fearful South Africans. South Africa's central bank has warned citizens against scammers visiting homes to recall banknotes and coins they said were contaminated with the coronavirus. The criminals carried fake identification badges and provided false receipts to victims who were told they could exchange the slips for clean cash at any bank. Wow, that's dirty. The bank said in a statement issued late Monday that it had neither withdrawn any banknotes or coins nor issued any instruction to hand in banknotes or coins that may be contaminated. That's sad. Michael, I'm so bored being home alone that on Friday I sexually harassed myself. You right? Okay. I'm going to talk to my higher ups and see what they say about me doing a meditation. So maybe I'll do more than just John Alpage. Maybe I'll be doing everybody. We'll see. We'll see what everybody says. I'm not trying to I'm making no promises because it has to be. I mean, this is something different, and I don't want to spook people. And at the same time, I think it would be helpful if people would like to do something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll also harass some others and see if we can get some game stuff going on. We'll see what happens. Okay. I want people to think about that type of stuff, though. Because that's the one thing I know, and that's the reason I'm doing funny stories. How people are dealing with all this is paramount as to how we're going to get through it. So, let's do another story for fun. Cheerful masks help battle coronavirus in Bulgaria. Cheerful face masks are helping to combat the spread of the coronavirus in Bulgaria, thanks to a small company in the capital, Sofia. The masks are printed with owls, dinosaurs, llamas, and monkeys, and will soon find their way to hundreds of doctors and policemen who are struggling to get their hands on the protective gear. They're being made by the Angel Baby Company, which normally produces sleeping bags for infants and is known for its social responsibility campaigns. The idea came to us spontaneously as we got calls from friends asking us to sew them masks. We stopped our usual production of baby sleeping bags for a week, and we hope to be able to make about 3,000 masks to send to hospitals and police stations around the country. Angel's Baby's previous campaign have included the sleeping bag on a mission. For every baby sleeping bag sold, that donated one to a maternity ward, which with more than 6,000 bags given away so far. They are also giving away the mask for free, but warning users that they have not been medically certified, so must be washed daily and ironed at high temperatures. Interesting. That's an okay, I get that. Definitely interesting. Those are actually kind of cute. And I can see where that would be helpful. Excuse me. If you're a patient, being able to smile is always helpful. A smile is worth 1,000 words when you're not feeling good. Yeah, right? I mean, they are adorable. And I mean, they do remind you of baby stuff. And they're actually cloth, so therefore they're reusable. The downside is they have to be cleaned. But I can see where that would be helpful. You know, and I everybody talks about the throwaway stuff, and I'm wondering what reason they haven't gone ahead and pulled out like the cloth masks and gone ahead and said, okay, you do a shift, then you bring that mask in and we send it to industrial washing machines and clean them. Those machines will kill anything, trust me. The high temperatures that they use they are high. Anyway, I think it's good sometimes to think about these type of things. What's going on around the world? Even though I'm not a globalist, because I really am not. Different attitudes can be contagious. They're good things. The positive way of looking at things. I think that's really cool that they're doing that. This story is kind of funny. We talk about, what do you do to take away your stress? What do you do to make your life, move forward when you're stuck at home? Well, you heard me talk about going for walks. I also have an elliptical at home. I'm using my elliptical. Let's see, which one is better, the cotton mask or the throwaway ones the medical people use? The reason that people go with the throwaways ship is because throwaways, you tend to take off more often, and you have to understand your breathing has moisture that builds up, and then at that point that moisture will center around and actually can start accumulating things, and including viruses. And if you don't wash it right away after you take it off, the next time you put it on, that can actually go into your mouth. And if you've accumulated enough moisture in your front of your mask, it will actually make it through that mask. And the fabric has to be really quite fine to keep anything from going through it. So there it used to be that's all you saw was, you didn't see paper masks. You saw cloth masks back a long time ago. Cost effective, and which is better to keep from people from getting contaminated? It is the paper, hands down. But if you've got nothing else, then you go with what you got. And if you can get a hold of cloth masks, then you get a hold of it. Okay, another story. This is funny. Belarusian leader proposes tractor therapy for virus in Moscow. President Alexander Lukashenko on Monday encountered citizens encouraged citizens to work in the countryside and drive tractors as a way to overcome the coronavirus epidemic. The former collective farm director, who likes to emphasize his connection to the land and rural residents, told officials at a televised meeting that there shouldn't be any panic over the virus. You just have to work, especially now in a village, he said. It's nice watching television. People are working on tractors. No one is talking about the virus. There, the tractor will heal everyone. The fields heal everyone. Belarus is famed in the former Soviet Union for its tractor production, with the Minsk tractor plant remaining a regional leader. The country of 9 million has so far reported 36 cases of the coronavirus. Lukashenko is not the only post-Soviet leader to put a personal spin on antiviral advice. In Central Asia, President Berganguli on Friday recommended inhaling smoke from a burning desert region plant called Puganama Har Malala, as known as African rue. Turkestan Today state news agency reported. The isolated authoritarian state has not reported any cases of coronavirus. That's interesting. So, there are still countries that actually don't have reported cases. And it's not because they have any special cures. It's because that people don't come into their countries or leave their countries to go on vacations like that. They're authoritarianism countries, and it's hard to go out and hard to come in. And they're very quick to shut things down if they get a whiff of any kind of problem. They're paranoid, truly paranoid. So it would only come to reason that, yeah, they probably have less coronavirus than we do. And and it does make sense. Here's a fun little thought for you. We've talked about Italy, and we've talked about how the coronavirus has done quite a bit in Italy, but we haven't talked about the good the coronavirus has done. Get this. The coronavirus lockdown helps police nab leading mobster. A top Regatta clan member was arrested in Italy after police, helped by the anti-coronavirus lockdown, spotted the fugitive smoking inside a seemingly deserted safe house. Cesare Cordi, described by police as leading figure of the Ndrangheta or Lacrai in southern Calabria, has been on the run since August, when a judge issued a warrant for the 42-year-old's arrest. Thanks to the empty streets and stay-at-home orders imposed throughout the country due to the coronavirus risks, the police, who have been tracking Cordy for days, found him at a house in the town of Bruzzani Zeffiro, at the tip of Italy's boot, late on Thursday. The faint glow of a cigarette, caught through the crack of a shutter, was enough to give the police the certainty that in the house was the wanted man. The police of the province of Reggio Calabria, who staged the raid, said in a statement. After a dozen people linked to the Lacrai clan were arrested in August on suspicion of various crimes, including mafia-type association, extortion, illegal competition, fraudulent transfer of assets, and possession of and carrying weapons in public. Okay, now this is funny. The coronavirus did some good. Think about that. And you wouldn't think about it, but I can attest. Where I'm at, there are very few people out. I mean, really, very few people out. And we open up our windows or our shutters or our drapes, okay? And so you have to think about that. Police, I mean, can you imagine if you had a warrant? The police could see you. I think that's funny. I mean, at this point, you sit there going, how many people at this point, like bounty hunters, are going, this is about the right time because people are supposed to be sheltering in place. Anybody on the street is going to be easily seen, let alone those who are in the houses, because they're going to be bored as all get out. They open those drapes up because you need that sun. That's funny. A mobster got caught just because of the coronavirus. That's hilarious. Okay. Oh, the things that just come of because, right? Now get this, and this is kind of gross. The coronavirus fuels toilet paper buying spree. California officials implore people not to flush T-shirts as wipes. As tens of millions heed orders to stay at home during the coronavirus pandemic, officials in California are warning people to beware of what they flush. I can't believe it has to be said. Okay. In the week since the COVID-19 pandemic has spread, officials have discouraged hoarding supplies such as toilet paper and paper towels, which have been flying off the shelves in some stores. According to market research firm Nielsen, toilet paper sales nationally have jumped about 213% in the week ending March 13th, compared to the same period a year before. That is a big jump. Stores such as Costco and Walmart are still getting shipments of toilet paper, but shelves quickly empty out as soon as they're restocked. Similar retailers and convenience stores have fared better. But for those running out of toilet paper, turning to alternatives already is having an impact on some communities. All right, people, listen up. In the Northern California city of Redding, wastewater management officials said Thursday that someone apparently used shredded T-shirts in place of toilet paper, causing a sewer backup. The soiled T-shirts caused pumps in one of the city's sewer lines to clog at a lift station, which could have led to a dangerous spill. Redding officials said the incident showed why it's important to avoid flushing anything other than toilet paper. Clogs in the sewer system can cause fecal matter to back up into showers, sinks, toilets, putting the community at risk at large for another health crisis. Yeah, right, Luke? Crazy. That is really, truly crazy. Excuse me. Days after the plea, officials in Napa shared what people flushing paper wipes have done to the area's sewer system. In Facebook posts, the Napa Sanitation District said Monday that a large amount of wet wipes had to be cleaned from a single screen at the district's pump station. Please help us keep our sewer system healthy and flowing smoothly. Remember to never flush wipes, paper towels, or tissues because they clog the pipes. The district reminded people to only flush toilet paper and human waste down the toilet and to throw all wipes and other materials in a trash can. We know that wipes are a tricky item, especially with packaging that labels many wipes as flushable. We just want to be sure we clean up any confusion and share that they are not truly flushable wipes. Did you guys know that? I did. Oh my. That is nuts, people. Think about it, everybody. Just think about it. Shredding toilet paper or shredding your T-shirts to wipe. Now, I'm going to say this, and I've had to think about it because, okay, what if? You have to ask yourself, what if? Well, I happen to have also in my RV toilet paper, which is really pretty bad, okay? But I have that as backup if it really comes down to it, okay? But what if I ran out of that? Now, I'm going to say this, and I want everybody to think about this. You have beside you a shower or a tub, and you have soap, and you have your hand. Think. You can clean your hand after you clean up. But if you flush anything, and they're not joking, those things those wipes that they say they're flushable, they are not flushable. They do not break down. Paper breaks down. These are fibrous. It is paper, but it's fibrous paper. It is actually very tough. It doesn't break down as quick. So think about that. Those of you who are parents who've had little children and you think, oh, I'm going to flush that wipe down the toilet. If you did it at home, you would know at some point you had to call the plumber to clean that toilet or to clean out your house piping because those things didn't break down and they actually build up a clog. And I know you know this. Why? Because I've done it, okay? It happens. It says flushable. You think, okay, it must dissolve somehow. It does not. Okay? So, lesson learned. Now, speaking of toilet paper, Oregon police remind residents, don't call 911 if you run out of toilet paper. I don't believe this has to be said. The coronavirus has not been kind to supplies of toilet paper, along with obvious items such as hand sanitizer and other disinfectants. The rolls of tissue have been increasingly hard to find at local markets as people stock up to hunker down during the global pandemic. But please, for goodness sake, don't panic if you run out. That, at least, is the earnest request of the police department in Newport, Oregon. It's hard to believe that we even have to post this. Do not call 911 because you ran out of toilet paper. You will survive without our assistance, says the police. Okay. It's no joke, people. It is no joke, my friends. You can't. I mean, come on. We were in the service. I think it's funny that vegan food and non-gluten free is still on the shelves. I noticed that. I actually went looking for that stuff because it got mentioned in the chat last week, and I sat there and went, I'm going to go see if that's true because I had to go there anyway. And sure enough, the health food stuff is still there, stocked. All the crappy junk food stuff is gone. You know, I'm not kidding, and I'm not sounding to be gross, but guys, we were in the military. Okay? We've done stuff that we aren't proud of. The old saying used to be, you got the MRE toilet paper or the C-Rat toilet paper. And how do you use it? You stick your finger through the hole, push a hole through to wipe yourself and then go like that, okay? Seriously, distasteful, but it was the thing that we all talked about in basic training, AIT, and in infantry units and so on and so forth. Because we all know that the toilet paper that they gave us was like 1-ply, 2-ply, maybe. It was horrible. A lot of us brought our own toilet paper, but it's very serious, okay? You can use the bathroom, you can use your shower, you can use that tub and clean yourself afterwards if you need to. You don't need to call 911. You don't need to tear off strips of t-shirts to make toilet paper. And they're very serious when they say this, and you don't think about it. It is a serious subject. If you flush things that cannot biodegrade quickly, they hit the sanitation or sewage systems. They will clog, and it is not a joke. It actually becomes deadly, not because stuff comes out of your toilet. Excuse me, but because that fecal matter that comes back and that water that comes back is contaminated. And that's how you end up with diphtheria, typhus, and everything else. That becomes unsanitary. So, as Doc used to say, think it through, and if you gotta, it may sound gross, but wash your backside. Okay? You don't need to have a diaper rash. You don't need to sit there and say, well, I cleaned it enough, but I could... No. Wash it if you gotta. You got soap. There is not a shortage of soap. Maybe hand wash, but not soap. So clean your backside. It takes an extra couple seconds, but it will ensure that we don't have a problem at our sewage plants. Okay? I know, gross, and probably more than you wanted to hear, but I made sure of those stories. Excuse me, because a lot of people panic, and they'll sit there and go, "Well, what happens if I do end up with no toilet paper?" That's what you're gonna do. You were a soldier. Deal with it. And this would not be Kicking It with Koz if we didn't have a Florida man story. A naked Florida man at that. Naked Florida man throws rocks at cars. Port St. John, Florida. A Brevard County man was arrested for standing naked in his driveway and throwing rocks at passing cars, according to an arrest report. Brevard County deputies were called to Port St. John neighborhood Tuesday and found Du Khan, 34, standing nude in the driveway of his home, records show. Deputies said there were multiple witnesses nearby who saw Khan throwing rocks and hitting cars. Khan is being charged with exposure of sexual organs, said according to the records. Okay, now, I know y'all are getting bored, but don't follow Khan's example. Really, don't. Now, I have thought about wearing silly stuff outside just for the fun of it, but I am not going to expose myself. I'm not going to be indecent. If you're going to do something silly just to do for the sake of silliness, fine, do it. Entertain yourself, I say. But do not expose yourself. That is not okay. Because not only are you exposing yourself to adults, but if there are children around or looking outside because they are now home from school, you just exposed yourself to a kid. Not cool. Camo boss, any dinosaurs running around? I don't know. Maybe I'll go get myself some dinosaur pajamas or unicorn pajamas. Some onesies. Albert saying, people lose their logics already. They might be halfway to be zombies. Right. I mean, again, we don't know. This could be start of the zombie apocalypse. Oh. Next story I have to get to before we're done, people. I love this story. I really do. Porn queen offers sex for COVID-19 cure. And more story. Okay. Some scientists looking for a cure for the deadly coronavirus may start working harder. Russian porn star Lola Taylor, now isolated in Moscow, is offering to have sex with the scientist who finds a cure for the virus. She announced her offer on Instagram, adding she will be arrested if she leaves her apartment. One responder said, This is how to get young scientists motivated to invent a vaccination. The 27-year-old star, I'm not going to go through that, is getting out the message about clean hands. She told viewers make sure you always wash your hands to be hygienic. Yes. COVID-19 can't keep a good influencer down. And here's another story. Food blogger and fashion influencer Carly Benz. The uppity Aussie was not pleased with the service she received at an Adelaide eatery. Not pleased at all. She took to Instagram Monday night, captioning her photo, "If I had the coronavirus, I know exactly who I be sneezing on." The rude waitress. Okay. Anyway, so anybody looking to be a scientist, now's the time. You can shine by coming up with the COVID-19 cure, and you will have a roll in the hay with the Moscow porn star. I mean, come on. It is funny. You have to admit. But people are trying to say, get it done. And I agree. And I know more than our country is trying to get this done. I think it's pretty cool that people are really trying and pushing hard to come up with the cure. Things that you need to think about this next week. Okay, we're getting to the end of the show, and I'm going to say something a little bit different. This week, if you can, go take a walk. Doesn't have to be far. Just take a walk. Take some good, deep breaths. Because of my asthma, I know how much that will help you. Because my house is still enclosed, because we still are getting some cool weather, my asthma does kick up here and there. You hear me. That's my coffee, okay? Go out and take some deep breaths. Yesterday I uncovered my RV. Just something to do. It will help you. It will remind you about things. And being a shaman, I'm going to tell you, putting your feet on the ground helps ground you. You will put things back in perspective. Okay? Those are the types of things you need to remember to do. And I encourage you, I implore you to do. Ground yourself. I'm going to, if you go to JohnOwl.com, John Owl Facebook, and chime in and say, I'd like to see a meditation. If I can't get WTF to go along with it, I'm going to do it on my own page. So follow me. And also, as always, follow, share WTF Nation Radio. But also, check me out, because I think this week, if I can't get WTF to say yes, I'm going to go ahead and do it myself. I'm going to do I'm going to try to put something together as a meditation to help calm the chaos that is the news media and everybody else. So you can relax and not be so stressed. And for those of you that don't really enjoy being locked in, there'll be something in there for you too. Remember to call people, to check up on people, and to let people know you care. You can't talk to them outside. You can't meet them at a supermarket. So check on them. Call them. Check on your neighbor. Doesn't mean you have to go through the door. Knock on the door, take a couple steps back, wait for them to answer, say, "Hi, I'm just checking to make sure you're okay." That's all you got to do. That's being a good neighbor, and that's being a good American. Okay? We're good people. Yeah, right, Albert. Why? What the heck? Why Florida still has naked people during the coronavirus outbreak? That's a good question. That's the reason I did that one. Anyway, think about what I've just said. We are good people. We are the top 4% of the U.S. We answered the call. So let's answer the call again. Let's show we're good Americans. All right, everybody, it is time to do house cleaning real quick. Let me page down here to upcoming guests. We have a guest, the 6th of April. Man, we are. This year is going by so quick. On the 6th of April, which is a Monday, not this Monday, but the next, is John Coleman from Kwok Daniel Law. John Coleman is a veteran currently working for the Kwok Daniel Law Firm. They're helping veterans with the lawsuits against 3M for defective earplugs. Good to know. This issue is plaguing the veteran community, but due to the message being shared on social media and television, or I would say undershared, social media and television is driving veterans away from this case. All right, everybody, we're gonna have that. We're gonna have them on. They'll give us the information. Those of you who had the bad earplugs, you know who you are because, well, you probably can't hear me. I'm kidding. I didn't want to yell. So, anyway, that will be on the 6th of April. Think about that. We are getting close. Okay. All right, everybody. We have shows during the week. Monday night edition with Ice and Flash. Tuesdays, Pop Culture War with CQ and Radar. And I have heard that CQ has been working very hard to take care of his technical difficulties. So it should go off without a catch. Cross our fingers. Wednesday is Danza or Meditation Day. Thursdays is Sergeant's Time with Ice and Spanky. And then, of course, we have Sundays with Kicking It with Koz. That would be Koz and Owl, Owl being me. All right, everybody, we are at the end of the show. Thank you for showing up. Just so you know, like I said, I am thinking of trying to get together a meditation if you're interested. Even if you're going, well, what would it do for me? Well, tune in. Check it out. You may find it will help. I'm not one to... I didn't believe in meditations till I myself became a shaman. I found that they work, and I found many people who they work on who didn't believe in them either. So, give me a holler in, and I'm probably going to be mid to late week. All right, everybody. You have a good week. Remember, as I always say, keep it real. Keep it simple. And remember to smile. Because you just don't know who you're going to help, including your own self. Kamo, I think you're right. Yes. And that I think that is when it did. All right, everybody. You have a good rest of your evening, and you could have a good rest of your week. Remember, the coronavirus is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the all. It's not the end all be all. Life does go on during and after. So keep that in mind and still be who you are. Don't change just to be a nasty person out there. All right, everybody. Love you. Thank you for showing up. You have a good rest of your evening, and we will see you next week. Good night.
F Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.